episode of the Lovebird Lane vlog. I'm really sorry I have not been on here for, I think this is the 3rd week, I think. I've skipped 2 weeks, I believe. And that's basically because we have had our 3rd thing happen. As you know, most things come in 3s, and ours have all been money related. We bought our house, then Granger needed surgery, both things that you know about. Then our car started dying. And we don't have money, obviously, because we've just bought a house to buy a new car, and the repairs were being quite costly. So I've had a lot of stress running around we had to be towed, and I've had to have numerous trips on the bus down to the mechanics and pick up the car, then find out it's not right and having to take it back. And it's just been quite not a journey, what is the word? It's been very stressful. So I'm hoping that that's the last thing that we'll need to pay for, other than regular costs like the mortgage and food and things like that, that we are going to have to pay for in the near future. Because yeah, we have not had the best luck with cars, as you probably remember. Last year we spent a lot of money repairing our other car, and ultimately we had to let that go because we just couldn't keep pouring money into it. I think we put at least about $2,000 into it in repairs, which is about as much as it was worth. And then we were told that it would be another $700 plus to fix the next issue that was occurring with that one. So we were very fortunate to get a car from my in-laws, and then that one started to have issues. So we've replaced the fuel pump, we've had to replace the not the differential, the distributor. And we found out that it also has a crack in the radiator, which is going to be another $350. So we have had quite a time of it. It's been very stressful. Simon and I have both been very stressed over it. Simon had to ride the bus to work, which is something that a lot of people do. He's not used to that kind of thing. He's never had to do that before. Did not like all the walking because, yeah, he's a little bit lazy where it comes to walking. But so yeah, that has been quite a thing. I'm just hoping that now we can relax and not have unexpected expenses that we're going to have to pay for. So yeah, like I said, that's been very stressful. I have not really had the energy all the time really to record and edit and all of that stuff. I do apologize. Today is a crappy day for filming, but here we are. I have my ring light glowing bright up there just to illuminate me, because it is cold, it is raining, it is not a nice day at all. And I dug out my rose cardigan because it's nice and oversized and warm. Granger hasn't had a walk this morning because it's been raining and it's very blustery, and I don't want to go out there, quite frankly. So we can have a hair update if you like. I went and saw my hairdresser 2 weeks ago, I believe, and I think I've decided I'm going to grow it out. So it is kind of in an in-between kind of stage at the moment. I've got a bit of top deck action happening. If you aren't familiar with what that is, it is a chocolate here in Australia where it's got a milk chocolate bottom and then a white chocolate sort of top. I'll put a photo in for all of you who don't know what a top deck is. So as you can see, I've got my blonde growing out from when I had pink hair, and I've got my natural brown coming through on the bottom. So yeah, a bit of top deck action. And yeah, so I'm probably growing it out, I think, at this stage. Either I'm going to have a long, short haircut, if that makes sense, with lots of length, or I'm going to actually grow it out, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. But yeah, it's kind of in a bit of an in-between stage. She couldn't do very much with it. Obviously you don't want to cut too much off if you're trying to grow your hair, so it was a bit of a tidy up, and that was about it. So I have been doing some crafting. My mojo hasn't really been there a lot. Probably it's only picked up in the last few days. I have been working on some stuff that you have seen, some stuff that you haven't seen, so I guess we could probably get on with that now, because I don't want to spend all my time talking about my hair and annoying money things. So I will start with socks. Oh, although I do have a finished object. I usually do those first, so let's get on to the finished object. Okay, so this one you would not have seen. I did mention it in the last vlog that I did, and that is a turban for growing out my hair. So I have finished one, and I have worn it a few times actually. It hasn't had a block yet, which might help with it. It's a bit weird looking. And I'll probably, you know, once I block it, I'll probably end up with more tie, because I've just got that bowed there. I think if I block it, I'll probably have the ties will stretch a little bit, but yes, this is a turban. This is the way it's worn. I will pop it on in a second. So you have this at the front of your head here, and then this is the back. So it's pleated along the back like that, and then it sort of splits, and then you've got your tie. This yarn is some very old stash of Finch yarns. I think this could have even been from their very first market that they did back in the day. It's called Pretty in Pink, I believe. So I've had this in my stash for a really long time because I couldn't decide what I wanted to make out of it. I did start knitting something with this yarn, and I frogged it because I wasn't happy with it, but yeah, I'm really pleased with this. So I'll pop it on so you can kind of see how it works. It's a little bit like Rosie the Riveter from the old war posters, so I guess you can kind of see how that works. It just sits at the back and it just ties at the top, and yeah, I kind of feel like an old, not an old, but a ye oldie time, like from the 1940s or something, like a housewife. Simon said something. What was it that he said? I can't remember now. But yeah, he said something about it too. But I think it's kind of cute. I kind of like the bow, to be honest. And because I've got the length at the front here, it just kind of, it looks pretty cute. And it does kind of cover my ears. I mean, I probably could wear it behind my ears, but I think it looks cuter in front. So yeah, that is my turban. So hopefully you can see that okay there. My neck is a bit stiff at the moment, so I probably can't turn my head too far around. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. And I did choose, as you can see, to make the one with the eyelets in it, because I did say I quite like the ventilation in my head. So I braved the eyelets, even though eyelets aren't my favourite thing to knit. And I have my turban. So I'm unsure whether I'm going to knit another one. I mean, that's nothing to do with the pattern. The pattern was great. And I couldn't quite figure out where we were going with the pattern, because I was just knitting and I was just following the pattern, because I was like, how does this shape together? It is the Poison Girls pattern that I used, and I think it's the Angel Face turban is the one with the eyelets. But yeah, I just don't know how much wear I'm going to get out of it. I have worn it occasionally. I haven't worn it out of the house as yet, even though there's nothing wrong with that. I just tend to wear my beanies if I'm going out, because it does have that split at the top, so it's not really for keeping warm. So if I do go out, I have been wearing one of my 3 sparkling cider beanies, actually, is what I have mostly been wearing. And yeah, this is fun for around the house, just to keep my hair hidden, I suppose, because it's still short at the back. Sometimes when I sleep, it ends up sticking out, so this kind of disguises that, which is great. And now that my ears are warm, I think I'm going to leave this on, because my ears are nice being warm. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm talking about today, so hopefully I'm making sense to you guys. I have no idea. But let's move on to my first work in progress. Now I think about it, I do have some other finished things to show you, but I will do that at the end altogether, because I might need to change position in order to show you what those are. But so for now, I will get on with works in progress. Alrighty, as usual, for my first work in progress, we're going to talk about socks. I have finished my first Spinifex sock. So this was a pattern from the Handmade Sock Society, and yes, I have finished this one. This is in my own yarn, as I've spoken to you about before. This is my new BFL base, my 80/20 BFL nylon base, and this is the colorway Bereft. And I have started the second sock. So I did try, we went on a bit of a road trip. It wasn't really a road trip, it was a lunch with my in-laws. We went way down south. We ended up, for a little drive, we had lunch at Normanville, which was lovely, and then we went for a bit of a drive down to Cape Jarvis, and we saw the Kangaroo Island Sea Link ferry go out, which was quite fun. And I tried to knit this in the car, but the star stitches in this were just a little bit hard to perform in a rocking car, and I was somehow ended up behind my stepfather-in-law, who is over 6 feet tall, so his chair was really far back, and I have longer legs than Simon, so it's like, well, how come I ended up behind the tall guy? So I was quite squished in the back of the car, so I wasn't in the most comfortable position to knit, and those star stitches were just not happening in the car. So if you can see these little bits here, these are the star stitches, and it basically involves knitting 3 stitches together, doing a yarn over, knitting through those 3 stitches again. And yeah, it was, because it's quite tight at the best of times when you're not jostling around and you've got plenty of space, but yeah, it was getting pretty hard in the car, so unfortunately I didn't get to make too much progress in the car. But I think I am nearly at the point where I'm going to start increasing for the heel. I need to, I think, do 10 repeats for my size foot. Yeah, I've done 9 repeats so far on the foot, so I just need to do that 1 extra repeat, and I can start doing these. I can start at the increases, like we can see where it starts to increase here, so I'm sort of about here-ish on my second sock. So I've got a little way to go. I'm very far behind now. I think we're almost due, I think we're 2 weeks away from the final 6th pattern in the collection. The current one is, I think, lavender something or other. I haven't started that obviously because I'm still working on the Spinifex socks, and socks aren't really where my brain is at the moment, so I haven't been doing a lot of work on these, hence why they're not finished. Yeah, socks aren't really my jam at the moment, even though usually socks are something that I could pick up at any point in time. I think I'm just really focused on getting one of my other FOs whips finished, which is why the sock is not getting a lot of love. But for now, that is where we are at with the socks. And for my next whip, it is another one that you have not seen. Well, you had an FO that you haven't seen. This is whip you haven't seen. Unless you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen a little bit of a shot. I am making another sweater for Granger because he has currently 2. He ripped a massive hole in the first one. I don't know what happened to that. I've probably thrown it away or something, composted it, I don't know. The second one is a little bit thin, so it's not as warm for him, and it stretches out a lot because it's superwash yarn, so that one's not as effective. The one he's wearing today is they were all done out of Cascade, Cascade? Is that what it's called? 220. The one that's not very warm was done with the 220 superwash, and the other 2 were done with just the 220, which is the non-superwash 100% wool. And I'm making another one out of hand dyed. I had some Highland worsted wool in my undyed stash, so I dyed it up in my colorway Fireheart. I've just done it without the speckles because the speckles are kind of like a chartreusey type of color, so I didn't really want to put that on his sweater. I wanted it to be a little bit more plain. Weirdly enough, I don't know what happened in the dyeing process, but there was spots that didn't really pick up the color, which is really odd because I don't usually have that issue when I am dyeing yarn, but apparently this one did, so who knows. But yes, this is Fireheart. This is, like I said, is 100% Highland wool. It is non-superwash, and I have made a little bit of a difference, a I've made a little bit of a change, shall we say, on this one in comparison to the previous ones that I have knit. I have gone down a needle size because even the non-superwash ones did stretch a little bit and they kind of bag under his belly, so it's not nice and tight to his skin, so it's still leaving you know, a gap for air to get in. So I've gone down a needle size on these, hoping that they won't stretch as much, and the stretching that they do is going to be more to fit him. So if it's a little bit small when he first puts it on, it will stretch. So this is the back piece. You can kind of see it is kind of it is tapered. So this is the back piece. I believe that's the neck edge, and it tapers towards the back. And I have started on the belly piece. So this is a ribbed piece, and that is what goes under the belly. I think it goes that way. And then he'll have little leg holes, and then I'll need to pick up, what do you call it? Ribbing around the leg, neck, and the bottom of it. So yeah, I've been working away on this. It probably needs some more work done on it, but like I said, I have been focusing on one of my other whips, which I'll talk about next. But yeah, it is getting worked on. This needs to be, I think, 18 inches for his size, so I got a little way to go, but it shall get done. Because he does need a second one that is a little bit warmer than the one that is a bit thinner. So it has been getting pretty cold of late, so like my hands are freezing today. So yeah, I just want to make sure he's nice and warm. He's actually on his bed wrapped up in his blanket right now, so he's got the right idea, I think, staying in bed with the blanket. I think he's also got a little bit of the SHITS's, because I did not take him out for a walk today. But like I said, it is raining on and off. It's not raining quite at the moment, but it's very gusty out there. It's very windy, and I don't like the wind. I definitely don't like walking in the wind. Rain I don't mind so much. Preferably I'd be at home inside, not out in the rain, but the wind I just don't like. So yeah, we're not going for a walk as yet. We'll see what happens as the day goes on, but yeah, I'm not going out there right now. Okay, now that I've got myself untangled, I can show you what my final FO is, and this is the one that's been getting the lion's share of my time, and is my cardigan. So it is very big, you won't be able to see all of it, but you have seen most of the body. I spoke about last time I ripped out the bottom because my pocket holes were too low, so I fixed that. I brought them up a little bit higher in the sweater, as you can see there. So as you can also see, I finished the body. I have done my ribbing, I have cast off the body, and I have started a sleeve. Well, I'm nearly finished my first sleeve. And for all of you who panicked when I pointed out that one stitch where it was just the mohair coming through instead of the mohair and the yarn, sock yarn, no, of course I did not rip out all the way back down to that. I know that's the word that I used, but that is not what I did. I did actually just drop down and re-knit them back up. So don't stress. I'm not going to rip out for something as simple as that. I've done a sleeve. So as I mentioned last time about the being only one sort of row of silver, I did actually go ahead and make my first round of the sleeve in that light grey. Just, you know, just for shits and giggles, just to make it, you know, a little bit more difficult for myself. But yeah, I did actually have to rip out most of this pink section the first time I knit it, because I realized that I had misread the pattern, as I always do, and I had done my decreases every 7th row instead of every 6th row. So I ripped that out and redid my sleeve. So yes, as you can see, I have most of a sleeve. So I just have to finish the ribbing on this sleeve, and then I can get on to the second one. So I've done the same number of rounds here as I have rows in my cardigan. So I believe it was 80. So it's going to sort of approximately be look about the same length when I wear that. So yeah, I'm really pleased. I wove in all my ends for the body the other day, so that's at least done. And yeah, I'm working on my sleeves. So I pretty much knit this whole sleeve in 2 days, so I'm not really worried. I possibly could have this finished by the weekend. But we'll see how much time I can devote to it. Got a second sleeve that needs to be done, and then I am done with this cardigan. And then I have to put on my big girl panties and finish my husband's cardigan as well, and do that neckline ribbing, which I have been putting off and putting off. Even though I've had hot tips on how to get it done, I've still been putting it off because, you know, I'm not good with things where I have to, like, I want to say freeball. That is the wrong thing to say. I'm not good with things that I have to freestyle. I like being told what to do. Hence why I don't do a lot of designing. I tried. I'm not good at it. So, so I don't like things where I have to kind of think for myself. That sounds really bad. I like to think for myself. However, like when I'm doing something that's a pattern, I'd like to be told what to do rather than have to freestyle it myself. So I've been procrastinating on that, but once this sleeve is done, the next thing I have to do is finish that cardigan. So yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't be powering through these sleeves. I don't know. Ugh, procrastination, it's the bane of my life. I'm just the worst for it. Like, I should really be doing a lot of decluttering and packing and things like that, because we've already been homeowners for 3 weeks now. So it's like, you know, that's 3 weeks out of the 12 weeks, possibly less than 12 weeks that it is until we can take ownership of our home. And yeah, I've done nothing. Although, to be honest, my mental health hasn't been great, especially with all the stress around the car and that. I have been quite low, so that makes motivation very, very hard. But yeah, I look around, I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to do so many things. We did bring some stuff in from the garage. We got rid of a bunch of stuff on the weekend from the garage. So I've got more stuff in my work area that I've got to go through and toss, give away, sell, whatever. But yeah, I've really got to get a move on. I keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and just playing Stardew Valley instead because, you know, that's easy. But I seem to be more motivated when Simon's around, so maybe I should rope him into more of that sort of stuff. But anyway, I'm just going to keep carrying on. I do have some final FO things to show you, as I mentioned before, but I think I might reset up somehow, possibly stick my camera on my ring light so that it's a bit higher, and I can show you the other things that I have finished. So I'll see you in a bit. And here we are, we're standing up. This is what is around me where I usually vlog. There is my chair. So welcome to the corner of my living room. My living room for the next couple months, and then that's it. So as you can see here, I have been working on a new hobby. So like I needed one. I started with some macrame. So I went down to our local browse-in the other day just to have a look. I was walking back from the library, and I just on a whim went in there and noticed that they had macrame cord. So I have started doing macrame because I did pick up some macrame books from the library, and then I found the cord available at Browse-In for a really good price. I think for the 3mm, which is what I've used here, so it's 3mm rope. I don't know if that's too bright, if it'll focus. There we go. Like a twisted rope. It was $10 for 100 meters, so that was pretty good. So this is my Hoya Crimson Queen, who is sitting in here. And yeah, I have learnt to do a bit of macrame. So that is the very first one that I did. It did get a little bit twisted, which is not really, I keep seeing it. I mean, nobody else probably sees it, but I keep seeing it and going, oh, it's twisted. This one here, you can see it's twisted from the top to the bottom. But it was my first macrame, although that being said, my third macrame, which I'll show you in a minute, I have to run out and get it, actually has twisted bits too. And I don't know how, because I did go back and untwist some stuff on that one, so I'm not sure how it ended up being twisted again. But this is the first one that I did. The second one that I did is this one, which is like, I believe they call it a pocket hanger, and because it's kind of, it's just this back piece and then it comes around at the front. And this, I've just got some propagations of some, I think just philodendron Brazil, and I have some, I think that's neon pothos in there. So it needs its water change, but you can probably see the roots in there. So some propagations. So this one is on a stick, and yeah, it's got the tassels on the bottom. So they had a few colours at Browsing. So this is the grey one, which I bought. But I've found since working with the coloured macrame cord, I think I do actually prefer just using the natural. So that is the second one that I did. I'll show you the book. I'll show you the book in a minute where those two came out of. The other one that I'll go grab now came from a YouTube tutorial, so bear with me. So this one, I actually really like the top of it. It's basically, they're square knots, but it's the way that they're done kind of gives like a, I don't know how to describe it, but I just really like the effect that it gives. So this was a dusky pink, I think it was called, but it's a bit more terracotta-y. So I've got a Scindapsus in here. So some Scindapsus Pictus Exotica, and my rainbow pot that I got from Kaku, I believe. I bought that, and it's basically like, it's really cool. You add extra pieces, so yeah, and you create like this crossover kind of look. So it's not really spread out there, so you can't really see it that well, but yeah, and then it's just got the tassel on the bottom. So that is all the macrame that I have been working on. Let's see if I can put this on my light stand and not have it fall over. Hey! So I will show you the book that I got the first two out of. So I just picked this up from the library. It is called Macramé Décor. Macramé Décor. And it is by that person there. I can't read that in my viewfinder, but yeah, this is basically where I learnt most of the knots that I have used, and yeah, that is the book that I have used for both of those ones over there. I did get 2 more macrame books, I think, from the library, from a different library this week, so I haven't yet looked at those. One of them looks really good. It actually looks like it's got a lot more kind of let's get a bit closer so I'm not so dark. A bit more kind of like teaching stuff in there, just sort of helping you to design and all of that kind of thing. So I'm really interested in learning that and potentially making up my own designs, which would be fun. So I think I will leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully this ring light hasn't been too bothersome on my glasses. I do know that it does reflect, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave me a like down the bottom and a comment as well, because YouTube loves that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. That's all I can really say now. And I will go and let you get on with your day. Happy knitting, happy crafting, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!